Hi everyone. Well, just like the title of this video says, this is going to be books, books, and books. As you know, I have a publishing company called Design Studio Press, and we've done so many books over the last 15 years. We have a whole bunch of old titles in inventory. So all of these books, 23 of them, we are offering to you for only another 2 weeks, so through the end of this year, 2015, at 70% off while they last. So I know some are maybe already gone. But all of these books are going out of print, and so we're going to pass along and big savings to you guys for being great supporters, and as a little holiday gift for you, and to help us get rid of some inventory so we can make room for new stuff. So please go have a look at those. Just go to the Design Studio Press website, and you can find this sale going on till the end of the year. Okay, new books. So 2015. So this is going to be my kind of year in review, because I've been, to be honest, really poor about letting you guys know when new inspirational books are coming out. So we published 13 new books this year, which is pretty aggressive, actually. So we've been busy. So this is An Artful Life by Harold Cleworth. Harold's an amazing automotive illustrator, and this book is a very large book, so I'll start with the large one first. These are all traditional media works, so these are almost all acrylic for the most part, and some of them are quite large. And it spans all of his work over his career, doing advertising, commission work, etc. All transportation related for the most part. So really nice, big coffee table book, An Artful Life. I think hardcover only. See if I can gotta find room for all these books. Here's a little book. This is a nice little sketchbook by Lauren Wood. It's very timely with Star Wars coming out soon, as Lauren's quite the Star Wars fan, so there's a very thematic feel to a lot of his work, and sort of fits into that universe a little bit. But a really nice little sketchbook. So if you're into spaceships and you're into marker sketching and traditional media, I think that's a really great inspirational book. Another one from Chris Ayres. Chris Ayres is the author of The Daily Zoo 1 and 2, Daily Zoo Goes to Paris, and My Daily Zoo, which is a little kids' activity drawing book. This is his third in the series. This takes us through his last 5 years, actually. And we sort of caught up. We were doing one per year, and we sort of got tired, and then we slacked off, and now we've caught up completely. So you'll see here, this is like year 7, day 2309. So he's done one drawing a day for the last, I think he's 10 years now, actually. And they're all sort of mixed together, but he edited it and he designed it, put the whole book together himself. It's really beautiful. Another beautiful addition to his collection. Very, very strong character designer. So if you're looking for inspiration, a whole new catalog of that. Mechs. So on the mech side, we put out last year, we put a little sketchbook by Darren Quatch called Inkworks. This one is by, well, he calls himself Calamity, but that's his website, Luca Zampriolo, and this is his little sketchbook. He was the author of Abacon, so if you like that work, this is sort of more of the same, but it's all sketches. So I think it's really fun. And then at the back, he has a really nice collection of his fountain pens. He loves fountain pens and the value of fountain pens, so he talks about that. And here's his collection, and he lists all of them, what they're called, and then working with fountain pens, switching up inks, and then different line widths and papers and what to expect, and some other instruments as well. So very nice little sketchbook. A new book that came out just last week called Soon. I wish I could pronounce Olivier's last name, Gamiette. Not very good at it. He's a French designer living in Paris. He works at Peugeot as a car designer. And he does these sort of work on the side for fun, all these concept watches. Really fantastic designs, and that's, of course, why we published it. And it's just staggering that he's able to get this amount of detail and resolution out of Photoshop. So these are all 2D illustrations of conceptual watches. And at the back, he talks about his techniques. So he did a little like tips and tricks. So walks you through his steps, making of several of the watches. So nice little format, and I'm really happy with the print quality. Came out very nice. And then there's his steps and his tips and tricks all through Photoshop, layering his step-by-steps, how to do these sort of things. So lots of little insider knowledge on advanced Photoshop techniques. And there's a little overview of some of the watches in the book. So if you're an industrial designer or into watches or high design or fashion, I think it's a really great piece. Oh, it's also in French, so it's dual language. So you'll see English here and French there throughout the whole book. Heaven's Hell, The Art of Anthony Jones, I'm happy to say, is now out for sale and on the market. This is Anthony's personal work, and he put it together initially as a Kickstarter campaign, and then we did the publishing for him. And I think he's got all his Kickstarters done, but it's figurative work, fantasy work. There is a sort of all based around a conceptual story that he has. And he has also a bit of step-by-step at the back, and tons of great portrait work. There's his step-by-step talking about brushes and settings and some of his techniques and approaches to his work. Nice figurative book, very illustrative. Okay, Nothing But Mech 3. As the 3 would give you a clue, it's number 3 in the series. And we dedicated this one to one of our good concept artist friends who passed away this year, Francis Tsai. So there's a little discussion about who he was and how he inspired us. Here's basically more great work. I think that Mech series, this is curated by Lauren Wood, the same guy who did the Whoosh sketchbook. This is basically started as a blog. And he pulled off the work from there, and he's invited artists from all over the world to contribute. And so this is a collection of mech work, all different types. And it's featuring too many artists to list, but there are, or to say on the video, but there are a lot of them, and they're all very, very good. So I think it's another great extension of that series. And we're in discussions now whether we're going to do one more for Nothing But Mech 4, but looks like maybe. Depends if Lauren's up for it. Okay, switching gears to something animation-based. This is Punk Drunk Mustache, which we just call PDM, and this is number 2. And these are all animation artists out of Industrial Light and Magic. This is their personal work. So these are all, some have stories, some are a collection of sketches, and it's very much animation based for the most part, very illustrative. There's some graphic comic book style. I like it a lot because it has a really nice range. So if you're looking for inspiration of style or color, you can just pick this up. Also, if you need inspiration on sequential art, most of them have sequential pieces. Some are character studies. So I like the range, and I love the styles. Large range of styles, and it's all just quality work. So another nice addition. So that's number 2 in that series, Punk Drunk Mustache. This one, anybody who wants to be a concept designer for video games, Elliot Lilly has put together a really beautiful little book called The Big Bad World of Concept Art for Video Games. At the back we have got interviews with some of the heavy hitters, some of the other authors we publish. Nicholas Barth-Bouvier, David Levy, Stéphane Martinière, Ben Morrow, Farzad, I can never say his last name, one of my classmates. Anyway, Elliot puts together a really great educational book leading you through how to build a portfolio, what to expect in the industry, the daily life of a concept artist. He also shows a lot of his early work, like when he was 17, when he was doing mostly like fan art as opposed to putting together a real portfolio, a path through school, what to study, internships, self-help, stuff you can do on your own, things to avoid. Anyway, it's really, really thorough. How to create a reference library, importance of a sketchbook, building your portfolio, organizing it, how it should be laid out, an online portfolio. And then these guys are interviewed. There's Elliot, and these guys are interviewed about what they do in the industry. And then I think they even put in an old piece when they were a kid as well. So really highly recommended if you're interested in being a concept artist in video games. This, to be honest, this is the book for you to get started with. Okay, switching gears to something else. Hot rods. You guys might know that I love hot rods. This is a book done by a friend of mine, Dan Kornstrom. And he does these great little hot rod sketches on Post-it notes. And again, a little bit like Elliot in that he takes you through sort of his early inspiration when he was a kid, and then what he does now with his more refined skills, of course, now that he's a pro. And he's mostly does art direction in the video game, or sorry, the animation world for feature animation. So he's got a whole, I would say Dan's book is like a love letter to the hot rod industry, in that it's all about inspiration. It's about Big Daddy Roth and all his compadres and the artwork that they did, and how it inspired him when he was young, 12 or 13 years old, how going to the car shows inspired him, and then how music like the Beach Boys also inspired him when he was a kid. And so this has got a great range of work, great range of styles, everything from when he was a kid to these big, beautiful ink drawings that he does now. And also photographs that he took back in the 60s. This is from August 65. Pictures that Dan took as a kid when he went to those early hot rod shows, and that really inspired him to get into model building and to do these great caricatures of hot rods. So if you're into hot rods at all, it's a great read, really inspiring book. Okay, a book that just landed, Simon Stålenhag. This is from Sweden. Simon's from Sweden. I saw that he was doing a Kickstarter, and I love his work. And I thought, maybe he needs some help doing sales and distribution here in the States. So we came on as a second publisher. So we're sort of co-publishing with his publisher in Sweden, and we're helping him do sales and distribution here in the States, which is great. I'd love to see the book get out and more people find it. Really beautiful book, great storyline, and he mixes this dinosaurs and old sort of rusty robotics into sort of an 80s Sweden, which is really great to see these things put together. And then, of course, his beautiful landscape work in addition to his fantastic drawing skills. So I'm a really big fan of this book as well. I think we've nailed it with some fantastic books this year. And so that's one, again, highly recommended. And last but not least, 2 books to go. Tara Whitlatch. This, her most 2 recent books that just came out a few weeks ago, The Science of Creature Design and Principles of Creature Design. Science is all about understanding animal anatomy. So think of these as essentially textbooks, to be honest. They're very in-depth, large format. And she's technically trained as a zoologist, so she knows all the skeletal structure, muscle structure, and she's fantastic at laying it all out and then giving you a guide to understand all sort of common animal anatomy. And then what she'll do in the next book, Principles of Creature Design, is she'll abstract that common animal anatomy into other more creative solutions. And even she's doing that somewhat here as well. So she's doing, I think, really, these books came in and it was, she wanted to do it as one book, and you'll see, where's this big guide? Here we go. There's a monster fold-out zoological chart of all of her, where she, and all her sketches and where they fit in. So some really amazing anatomy work and a great reference guide. So if you're into drawing animals and you need reference and you need to learn anatomy, again, this is a very educational book. And then she starts to abstract it in her next book. So this is really focused on understanding animal anatomy. And then her second book, which they're also available in hardcover. This one's Creating Imaginary Animals. So then this is sort of the application of the principles that are taught in the first book. So she then goes through this one and talks about how to apply the anatomy into things that are much more original, much like she's done for, working on feature films and feature animations. Anyway, some really beautiful drawings, beautiful illustrated, large format, all traditional media, pencil drawings. Well, actually, I say all. There is a little digital there for the color, but she's very much a traditional media artist, and she draws with pencil and then uses the Copic markers over the top. So lots of great stuff. And I think she's got a little review of some of her Star Wars work in there. So if you love animals, that's a good one. So I think that does it. Yeah, books. Wrap up of 2015, and hopefully looking forward to, getting you more good stuff next year. So thanks again for all the support, and have a great holiday. Bye-bye.